Hi everyone, we're going to graph the secant line by finding the equation of the secant line containing this point. So we're looking at x from -1 to 2, and we're doing this number 4. We're going to graph f of x, and also we're going to graph the secant line. So we'll get started. Just remember the secant line, as opposed to the tangent line, is just the average rate of change of this curve. And all you do is connect the 2 points. So this is from some x to another x. In our case, our x is from -1 to 2. So what we want to do is evaluate and find our y, so we can just use this formula here. So let's look at f of -1. That's going to be -1 squared minus 2 times -1. That gives me 1 plus 2, which equals 3. Now let's evaluate it at 2, f of 2, and find our y. You get 2 squared minus 2 times 2, and that gives me 4 minus 4 is 0. So those are your 2 points. We can call this, point 1, point 2, and just use our equation there. So our slope is 0 minus 3 divided by 2 minus a -1. That equals -3 over 3, so that equals -1 is our slope. Now when you write y equals mx plus b to find our equation of the secant line, we'll just plug in our slope and plug in one of these. It doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and use this because I like the 0 part. So we have 0 equals -2 plus b, so clearly b is 2. So our equation of our secant line, we just plug it back into there. Get y equals -x plus 2. So we have that, and then after that, all we have to do is graph it. So I need to remember these 2 points. So we have -1, 3, and 2, 0. Let me quickly write those down. And 2, 0. Let me plot those two first. -1, 3, 1, 2, 3. And 2, 0. It's right there. Now, looking at this, I can tell that when x is 0, y is 0. So let's factor this to see if we have our x-intercepts. So we have x equals 0 and x equals 2, which we already have that value. So basically, let me look. We have some vertex here. Let's just look with 1. If we plug in 1, I want to see what my vertex is. We have 1 squared minus 2 is -1. So there's your vertex right there, because it has to be, remember the quadratic is symmetric. And then also I know I'll have a point right there. So let's connect it. All right. Now what they're asking for is the secant line between this point and this point. So the average rate of change of this curve. So all you're going to, sorry about that, Amber Alert came in. All right, so basically all we're going to do is connect these 2 points right there. All right, and that's the average rate of change of this curve right there. All right, so that equation was y equals -x plus 2. And that's it. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.